Hello everyone, and welcome back to another GTA Online guide. Today we're going to be talking about supercars again. Unless you've been living under a rock on Mount Chiliad, you'll know that the almighty RE-7B, which was once an unholy speed machine, has now unfortunately been patched. For a historic video on how fast the RE-7B could go prior to the recent update, here's a video showing pretty much the fastest a player could travel in GTA Online. And yes, it was comparable to flying a Hydra. But anyways, with the removal of such an awesome glitch, it brings up the question, which car do I drive now? What's the current fastest car in the game post this patch? Well, I'm going to choose 3 of the top supercars that currently exist in GTA Online and take them out for a test drive. Those 3 cars being the RE-7B, yes, that car is still amazing even patched, then there's the X80 Proto, and finally the 811 Turbo. So let's begin the video by taking the patched RE-7B out for a test drive. Well, I gotta say, after such a long time speeding around in a glitched version of the RE-7B, the amount of grip you have now compared to what the RE-7B had when it was glitched is night and day. Because not only did it go incredibly fast, but the amount of grip you had was actually pretty awesome, but in a weird way. It was sort of okay for racing since your maximum grip was reduced, but it made it so you could initiate drifts in a realistic manner. It was a sort of good and bad thing at the same time. It really took some careful input on the steering to make it around a corner at top speed. So now, driving it around after the patch, I gotta say it still feels fun to drive. It's lightweight, so it takes corners at high speed pretty easily, and the acceleration doesn't leave more to be desired. With that said, let's take the X80 Proto out for a drive. The X80 is that car that everyone pokes fun at. They all say that for its price it's a terrible car and that the car doesn't really hold up to other supercars, and while I agree that its price is pretty steep, I gotta say that I found this car to be the easiest to handle around corners. Despite feeling a bit heavier than most supercars, it's always had plenty of grip to keep me going. The cornering was sharp and the acceleration was also really good. Overall, I like the X80 Proto, and the fact that I haven't sold it since acquiring it is further proof that this car isn't that bad. And finally, let's take a look at the 811 Turbo. Now the 811 Turbo is the car that most people talk about when it comes to the fastest non-glitch car in the game. And they're not wrong, this thing is fast. But it's kind of like the Adder back in the day, where it needed a really long run up to reach its top speed. Its cornering, I gotta say, is terrible. I take a corner at moderate speed and all I get is loads of understeer, and I find myself clenching my ass as I just barely make it around corners without resorting to braking. Though it could be just me with a lack of driving time inside the vehicle, and I guess over time I could reap the benefits of the car, but anyways, let's see how these cars hold up in a drag race, shall we? Well, as you saw right there, the X80 won that race by a close shave, followed closely by the 811, and then dwindling behind was the RE-7B. But before you guys dislike the video, I gotta explain that the drag race test is a test of its acceleration and top speed within a stretch of road that is realistic. Yes, the 811 is the fastest car in the game, granted, but if it can't get its power down to the tarmac in this stretch of road, or even shorter stretches of road, then it's something to consider if you're on a circuit with not many stretches of road. Other than that, the cars all have pretty similar performance and shouldn't really affect your racing car of choice when it comes down to the competition. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the Pyrerealm Gaming channel if you're new for loads more guide videos coming to you very soon. See you around!